Guys, welcome back to the League Crawler podcast. This is episode 8, and it's crazy because when we first started doing these at episode 1, you would think that as you start getting to episode 8, they start clicking, and you're like, wow, we're really going. But we are really going, and it's been a lot of fun. If you haven't had a chance to check out last week's show, we had on a guy named MP, or Madden's Players. A lot of fun. He calls himself an underground creator. He's had a lot of streams. I know he's over on Twitter talking about the things that he's doing. Give him a chance. Check him out. Check out last week's episode. It was a lot of fun. Over for League Crawler News, there is a graphics contest going on over in the forums. Now, Matt has put out the information on the League Crawler page. Go over to leaguecrawler.com. You can check that out, and it will tell you about a graphics contest. There is a lot of bragging rights for this. I know that Soden has put out some incredible graphics. A couple other people have put some of their work in. It looks really, really cool. I'm excited to see where this goes. We'll see who the winners are. That will be announced next week on this show. I know that Matt will have something to announce before that happens, but we will be talking about that next week. Another thing to check out is some of these streams that are going on the Discord channel. Now, I went over and I was looking over at Elite Season 2. They had their Super Bowl winner. Baltimore ended up winning. I think it was like 17-3. Wasn't a huge scoring game, but it was a lot of fun. Huge defensive game. And I love how their chats are going over there. I love how real they are. They're over there talking about people that are probably going to get kicked for not playing their games. It's just a very realistic, it's a very intense, raw atmosphere. It's a lot of fun. Huge shout out to Elite for theirs, and shout out to Baltimore for winning their Super Bowl in season 2. But Nate's got some cool stuff every single night that he posts, guys. Check over what Nate's doing at OMFL. He's very interactive in his chats. If you go over there, send him out a message, he'll reply. MP, who we had on last week, also very interactive. Lots and lots of fun, guys. So check out some of the streams that are going on. It is really cool. Getting into some of these news, don't forget, guys, that if you use the League Crawler News, the tab, those things will be posted, and I'll be able to read those on the show. Now, today's episode, we're filming a little early, so some of you guys put stuff out in the next day or two, I'm not going to be able to get to it. But I know that SPA just put out that they are going next gen. So that is something to keep all eyes on. And some other big news I thought was cool is League Crawlers, the Discord continues to grow. We're up to 224 people as of today. So that's another cool thing that League Crawlers got going on. They also have the shooters that Matt is still trying to get some kind of idea on how we're going to continue going with this, but I know people are looking for some teams. I know guys are looking for some squads or some places that they can go play in, some tournaments, all different kinds of things. So guys, be on the lookout for that. LeagueCrawler.com is the site. Go over there, check them out. It's going to be a lot of fun. Now, today's guest is special to me because this is somebody that I have known for close to a year now. He is an incredible streamer. We're going to have a lot of questions about the content that he puts out on YouTube. It's a lot of fun, and that is DeQuan Kush. DeQuan, welcome to the show, buddy.
Thanks for having me.
Yo, man, it's exciting to get you on here. You know, I've had like 7 other people on before this, but it's interesting and it's a little different to have somebody that I actually know.
Yeah, this is probably the first little interview thing I'm doing, so we'll see how we do here.
That's pretty cool, man. For those of you guys that don't know who DeQuan Kush is, if you go over to YouTube, you put in the name, there's going to be a lot of videos that come up. Now, DeQuan, are we calling you DeQuan or can I just call you Brandon?
You can call me Brandon.
Okay. So I know the first question that most people are going to ask is, how does a guy named Brandon come up with the name of DeQuan Kush?
Well, so maybe like 10, 12 years ago when I was just a little lad, we were playing 2K my career. And do you know who Chris Smoove is on YouTube?
I've heard the name. I don't know the face.
Okay, so he just plays my career all the time. And I was trying to find like not a similar name, but just like that's like his 2K guy's name. So we were trying to find names that just, I don't know, sounded good together. And so I was probably like 10 years old. And I made that my career name. And then I just randomly changed it to my gamer tag, maybe when I was like 12. And then I just never changed it. And so that's kind of how it started.
Now, from there, you kind of pick off. Now, the very first thing that you have up on YouTube and the thing that everyone can check out originally is a Jaguars franchise from Madden 15. What made you, before you started posting that content, go, this is kind of the direction that I want to take my YouTube endeavor?
I've always liked like the franchise aspect. Just I don't know, never really stuck with me just how it plays and stuff. I was having more fun playing against a CPU than playing against a person who ran the same play 20 times a game. So I just started randomly posting the franchise stuff on YouTube, and then it gained a little bit of traction. Then it's always cool when people watch you, playing video games. So I just kept posting, and then it just kind of went off from there.
When would you say it was? Did you finally get the idea that, hey, there's people that are enjoying this outside of myself? Because I mean, as a content creator, you don't get into this going like, yo, I want to be famous first. You get burned out really quick. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So what made you go like, hey, the thing that I enjoy producing, this is starting to catch on where people are enjoying this?
I've always like when you watch a Twitch streamer play and you watch them like interact with people, it always sounds cool having people watch you and then you can interact with them and stuff. And so once like people I didn't know started commenting like just little kind of cheesy stuff like, oh, like can't wait for the next video, blah blah blah, that kind of I enjoyed that part of it, and then just kept posting, and then more and more people would comment and interact, and that's just the best part of it.
When you started winning games, I'm sure you enjoyed putting out the content to show how good you were. Was it easy in the beginning to put out content that you felt like, yo, this doesn't make me look good?
Yeah, I never really had a problem with that. I don't really, I just show it how it is. I don't want to hide anything. Like if I get like smacked a game, it's just, it just happens. I don't want to hide all the bad stuff and then just show the good stuff,
Right. What made you pick that Jaguars team as your very first franchise to at least do on YouTube?
Oh God. I have no clue. I think they just randomly picked them. I don't even remember. What year was that? Like 14 or something? That was so long ago, I think.
Well, it was the Madden 15 franchise.
2015 then, yeah.
Yeah, that had to have been 7 years ago.
Yeah, I don't even remember why I chose them. That was just the team we chose.
Now that video, when I come in and I started looking over at your playlist, now I'm not gonna lie, buddy. Like when you first joined over with SPA, I knew that you'd been doing some of these. I did not realize how much work you'd been putting in for like years and years. Like you go from a Jaguars franchise which has 61 videos on its own, like for that entire playlist, which is crazy to me because I think that's more than my entire catalog, even on my channel at the moment. But then you go into a Steelers franchise with 38, an online franchise with 43 that we'll get into. Like what made you go like this is the type of platform that I like to do? Like how did you know this was your niche? Because I know there's a lot of our listeners out there that they just don't know yet where they want to go. They know they want to do something,
Yeah.
But you go like, this is my lane. This is what I know I'm good at.
Oh God, it's a good question. I'm not too sure. I know I just like entertaining people. And it's a lot easier to entertain people when you're in your room and just talking to yourself. I could never do stand up or any of that because I would be way too clammy to perform in front of people. But I'm always been okay at video games, and so it's always fun to entertain people and just play. And I just got blessed that I got a small following on YouTube, and then it just now it's a decent little following now. So
yeah, you do. And for those of you that don't know, my boy over here is rocking at like almost 15,000 subscribers over on YouTube, and I think you're close to 1,000 something on Twitch as well, right? So you're doing pretty good for yourself over in the subscriber department.
Yeah, YouTube's pretty good. I probably should stream on Twitch more. I'm not too. I mean, I stream my games, but I probably should stream other stuff just to be more like consistent.
Now, when you first joined over, when we first kind of talked about you joining into an online community, I was under the impression you hadn't really done that a whole lot. But then when I went through your playlist of things, you were actually in some online franchises leading up to that. Can you talk to me about some of those experiences? What did you experience in online franchises before SPA?
One season. I mean, we never really. I remember me and my friends made one, and then I made a video, and a bunch of people from a bunch of subscribers came and joined, and it lasted probably a season and a half. it then just people just burnt out. So I'm so grateful that I got into this because I don't think I'd be able to record against the bots every single Madden. I mean, the SPA is just all the effort they put in is just unbelievable.
Now, before we get into your experiences now with the online community, what was the things that you looked at offline? Because I know a lot of our users out there are still doing a lot of offline franchises. Even myself, I've got a next gen offline franchise. That can be really good for an audience that they don't always have time to get online to play these games, or they want more control over the content that they're putting out. What are some of the advantages of doing something offline rather than opposed to doing it online?
Well, you could kind of like oh god, what's that one YouTuber's name? Mr. Hurricane or whatever. I think that's who it is. He edits a lot of like players, and he builds up stories around all the players, and so you have kind of more time to build up all those background stories. And I'm pretty sure he brings in like people that he plays with on the college games into the actual Madden leagues. So you could do all that offline because you got the time to mess around and do all that, which online I don't think you'd have the time to have every 32 people do that for players. That'd just be way too much time.
Right. So the creative process for offline, it just allows you to be a lot more creative. When you made the transition to online, were there things that you felt like you were missing that you previously had in your videos, or were you able to transition pretty well?
Oh, no. Just online franchises is a thousand times better. I used to do a lot of online leagues in 2K way back, a long time ago, but never really got into like a consistent one in Madden. And online leagues they're way better in my opinion. I can't, the CPU is fun, but playing against different people, I mean, the CPU usually, for the most part, plays the same every single time. And then when you come across different people, everyone plays differently. It's a lot more fun that way.
Now, knowing you, I know that you're somebody that doesn't get burned very easy. You're very meticulous about what you decide to take on. You're very honest about like how you're feeling, but you've been going strong in this Madden game now for quite a while. What is the thing that gets you to be continuing to drive you with this thing? You know, like a lot of people are frustrated with Madden. A lot of them don't think that franchise gives them the things they're looking for. They're tired of the MUT thing. But you've always been very positive with this game. What are the things that you look forward to?
Well, part of it is true about what those people say is that there should be more that they add to the game, and that's probably because they don't have much of a driving force to do it. They got no competition at the moment, so they're kind of just being stagnant. But I don't know. I've just always grown up watching football. My dad had season tickets to the Seahawks games, so I've always liked football. And I mean, Madden's just it's really the only option out there right now for football. So I just try to support what's there.
Got you. Now, before we go any further, Brandon, I got to get into some of our sponsors for the show. Our very first sponsor for the show is going to be SpaceTradr.com. Now, guys, if you have a business out there and you would like to get some help in different areas, if you're like, yo, I'm really good at, let's say, carpentry. I can make some really cool stuff with some wood, but I'm not really good at making a website. Well, there might be some people over at SpaceTradr.com that are like, yo, I really need a carpenter right now, and I can build a website. And you might be able to trade some work over there. So if you are looking to continue to grow your business and you need some help in some different areas, head over to SpaceTradr.com, check out some different links, sign up for their site, put down a post, go over there, talk to Matt. He will hook you up with just about anything you need. But it's a great, great avenue for you to continue to grow your business, especially during this time in a pandemic where pretty much everything is through the phone or online or whatever the case may be. It's a great, great avenue for you guys to continue to help increase your financial portfolio. Now, Brandon, as we continue to go through here, I know that you play a lot of other games outside Madden, and I don't want to just get into what you're doing with Madden. We'll get back to some of the stuff that you're doing in SPA at the moment, but what are some other games that you can talk to some of our users about that you're enjoying and they can expect to come see over with what you're doing?
Rainbow Six Siege right now is probably the top game that I play outside of Madden. I actually want to start streaming more of that on my PC. I just figured out how to get it all set up, so that will be coming on Twitch, hopefully much more.
Now, one of the things that's very funny about when you join the community is what I call the Kush Army. Speak to the Kush Army for a minute. How is it to have this followers, which are a lot of it's a lot of kids, but it's also a lot of adults. I'm actually kind of shocked with how many adults kind of like follow you, and they're like, yeah, I've been watching this dude for years. What is it like to have your own little army of people that continue to support you in your chats, that go to bat for you anytime somebody says something negative? What is that
Oh,
like?
it's amazing, especially in the playoff games. If something a little tad bit unlucky happens, it's hilarious seeing people that respond. Or even my YouTube videos when I played Trey, they're always roasting Trey in the comments. It's hilarious.
Now, for those of you guys that don't know who Trey is, Trey Black is a member over at SPA who we all consider to be one of the greatest Madden players that we've ever seen. Just an incredible gamer. But they do kind of like come with pitchforks and their signs, and they're like, "Yo, it's time to go to war."
Yeah, they're crazy.
Do you think that some of them care even more about your wins and losses than you do?
I think they're pretty close. They're pretty close. I know some are actual legit Colts fans, and so every time playoffs comes around, they get really hyped because they want to see the Colts, go all the way. Or say even like last man, the Giants. I remember someone commented when I won the Super Bowl with them saying like I made their year or something. I was like, it's a little dramatic, but yeah, they get really into it, it's cool to see that.
Yeah, it is. Do you notice that as you go from different team, because you're not always on the same team. For those of you guys that have never seen Cush's channel, I believe the Colts are the only ones that you have on here twice. Am I wrong?
I think that's the only one. Yeah.
Right. And so when you go through these different teams, I know that you like to take these rebuilds and you like to go through, you like to kind of have your own little stamp on a team. Looking over some of the teams you've done in the past, from the Steelers franchise, the Buccaneers, the Jaguars, are there certain players that stick out to you from these franchises that you'll just never forget?
Well, definitely last Madden, Darius Slayton. Darius Slayton last Madden was insane. He's probably the only one, really. The other leagues, there wasn't really anyone that was like crazy stand out to me, but Darius Slayton last Madden that dude was such a glitch. It was insane.
Now, from that last Madden, that was your first time joining an online community where you took your videos from what you were doing offline into truly going into like a 6-season cycle,
Yeah.
correct? So what was it that made you go like, this is the new avenue I'm going to go down?
Well, I mean, once I started playing the games and especially the off-season stuff that you guys do is just it's miles better than what Madden has in game. All that and the atmosphere, it's so much better. There's no way I'm going to go back to just playing against the CPU over and over because it's way better with playing with actual people.
Now, some of the stuff that you're talking about that we do in the off season is our silent bid system. And for those of you guys that don't know, that's where we take all players that are 80 or above and we put them into a silent auction, right? Or we have like the contract calculator, all these different things. When you look at it from a content creator's aspect, is the stuff that online leagues can do outside of the game, does that help your content at all?
Oh yeah, I mean all the extra activities that happen. It's a lot more entertainment value to the off season than just quickly going through because Madden doesn't offer too much as far as off season. It's just like free agents draft and then boom, you're already back inside the preseason and stuff. So definitely a lot more to do in the off season in these leagues.
Now, I also know that because I know you're probably one of the most laid back creators that is even on the market. Now, when I started creating my own content, or I know other people dove into theirs, they were diving headfirst. Like, these are the things I want to do. I want to get into this avenue. I want to get into this avenue. But you've always been very, very consistent and laid back with your approach on how you're going to do your content. Is that something that you would recommend to others? Because I know for me, I can only speak personally, it's a quick way to get burnt out when I took on too much. Have you found that avenue that works best for you? Like, do you ever feel burnt out, or are you still going strong with this?
I haven't really felt burnt out too much. Once we get towards the end of Madden, I kind of feel like that. But for the most part, I haven't really felt too burnt out. I just, 2 leagues is definitely enough for me. That's the main thing. Like you said, you don't want to give yourself too much because then you're just going to get overwhelmed and it's going to burn you out quickly.
What would be your advice to people that are just starting to get into this content game?
I mean, the best thing I can always say is you have to be consistent. Like you're not going to grow a fan base if you post, 2 videos a week and then all of a sudden you skip a couple weeks and then you post like 3 videos. You have to be somewhat consistent in your uploads, whether it's 3 days a week, Monday, Wednesday, Friday, every week. Then people will know, okay, I can expect the next video here and they'll be looking forward to it.
Right. Now, one of my goals going into today is to kind of discuss where your videos are at in your seasons now, just in case some of the people listening are like, you know what, I want to go check this dude out, but I don't want to go watch all of his videos through the year, right? Where is your Indianapolis Colts franchise at the moment?
We are in year 4 and it's week 4, so early on in year 4, and we're struggling. We're struggling a little bit.
How's that? How are you looking so far?
We're 2-2, but my defense has just been garbage. I'm pretty sure I could probably duplicate you 11 times and throw you out there and you'd be better than what I have right now.
Now, last year you came off a really good season. I know that you guys went and got Tom Brady, and he played 2 seasons.
No, he just played the last season.
Okay. How was that transition from Tom Brady into who you currently have starting right now?
Pretty good. Honestly, I think it helped because doing a full season with Tom Brady, there's no rollouts. You can't scramble, so you got to be quick with your reads. And so honestly, I think it kind of helped me on offense to be more quicker and sharper with my reads because Tom Brady's just a statue. You hike the ball, that's where Tom Brady's standing the whole snap. So now we got the rookie at quarterback now, and I think it is helping me out, getting the ball out quicker and not sitting back there and holding on to it too long.
All right, guys, before we go in any more with Brand, I got to take a quick break. We got to get into our second sponsor, and that is going to be from shattercreations.com. That's with a Z. If you are somebody that you're listening to this podcast and you're like, yo, I want to get into content. I want to create my own videos. I want to be on YouTube. I want to be on Twitch. I want myself to look professional. I want boxes for people to comment. I want to see myself on camera. I want graphics. I want all these different things. Head over to shattercreations.com and they will hook you up. And if you tell them that League Crawler sent you, they will give you 20% off. But guys, that's the best way that you can kind of put your best foot forward if you want to be good at this is to actually work at it. Now, outside of just the content game, I know that you're very involved and you really like to be involved with what goes on in your community. But the game of Madden sometimes can be a very, very frustrating game for a lot of players, right? You look at the state of the game currently. What is your opinion for their on-the-field stuff, and what is your opinion for their off-the-field stuff?
I think the on-the-field is getting to a decent spot. I think the main concerns that I have for the on-the-field stuff is just right now I despise the fumbles. Like I wish hit sticking wasn't so stupid OP. I wish like strip sacks hardly ever happen. Stripping in general, no one gets stripped anymore. The only way fumbles happen in any game is just hit sticks. And off the field, I think the silent bid thing for one, they should just put that in right away because that is a million times better than what they got going on right now.
Yeah, no, I agree. I think if they put a little bit of ingenuity into their level of thinking, they could absolutely do something for an online community. What frustrates me about their online stuff is I know they want to work on franchise, but I know that they want to do online franchise, but I don't know if they necessarily know how to do online franchise. Like a lot of the bidding and stuff that you see in game is, in my opinion, based on a user being able to know what the computer does. What kind of things do you look at this and say like, hey, this is an area that we need significant upgrades for an online community?
Yeah. They might not just know what to do. I mean, I don't know how much revenue is on franchise based. I know they make a lot of money on Ultimate Team. So I'm sure that's why that's probably their main focus, is because that's what they're making. They're making a ton of money there. So I don't know. I hope next Madden they put more just details into franchise and not just copy and paste it for next year.
Right. I that's something I agree with. I'm really hoping that they add in different things. I know that they just accidentally looks like that they announced that there were going to be some offensive coordinators, defensive coordinators, all those different things. So it's looking like they're putting a little bit more oomph into the mode. I'm hoping that that kind of plays out. When we look at some of the stuff that you are doing from an online perspective, you do more than just Madden, though. You have some stuff on here from the NBA 2K League. You have some stuff on here for FIFA. What other areas of games are you going to be getting into the future? And what are some of the things that you can see them taking out of those games and potentially putting into Madden?
Um, can you repeat that again?
So with you on your online games, I see that you're doing a lot of stuff with like NBA 2K. You've got some stuff out here with FIFA. Are there things in those games that you're like, yo, if they put this into Madden, it would make it a much, much more enjoyable experience?
Well, I mean, the other way around. If FIFA did an online league, that would be amazing. But I don't really know if there's much from those online leagues or like games that they can bring into Madden, because FIFA doesn't even have an online league, and 2K, their online thing is okay. I'm not really much of a fan of it, but I don't really. All the online leagues and all the sports games that I've played are kind of just bland to me.
What games do you feel is Madden the game that you feel like gets you the most traction
Oh,
going back?
oh yeah,
Or do you
Madden
feel
definitely. I had a small little spree with Rainbow Six videos that got some traction, but Madden gets the most.
now another game that you are really good at is Apex. Is that something that you're still
Oh,
still
I
playing
haven't
at
played
all?
Apex in a while, but I was pretty good on Apex.
Yeah, you were like one of the from what I have heard from a couple of your friends, you were like one of the top players out there. Is that are they like kind of beefing you up a little
No,
bit, or is that
I was
accurate?
pretty good. I got to Apex Predator the max rank solo queue by myself, and then I was on this one team and we were running scrims and stuff. But I mean, I did make a little bit money doing tournaments and stuff. I probably made like 100, $200, but I didn't really go full on into it like I probably should have.
What is it for next gen that you're looking forward to the most?
Um, I'm not sure. Probably just more details, more like just stuff to do. The one thing that me and my friends have always said that would be amazing if they ever added it is just scrimming, where I could take my franchise team and just do like a practice game with anyone in the league. I would love that. Just because once you use your team, you can't really. I mean, you can go to free practice and mess around there, but you can't play against another person and like practice with your players.
Right. No, I agree with that. If we had the chance to kind of like pull teams and just kind of play, one, I think it would work almost like a preseason where you're able to test different guys out in different scenarios. But two, I just would love the opportunity to practice a little bit more with that
Yeah.
squad. I think that's a great they could add. Now, when I approached you originally about joining SPN, this is where we'll kind of get into your involvement with an online franchise. You were I was looking for somebody that was wanting to be the Colts. And at that point you were like, no, you know what? I that was one I did in the past, but I'd be interested in doing another team. What was it about the community at SPA that kind of drew you in to make you go like, I'm going to change the way that I'm doing this rather than do offline modes. I'm going to jump into an online franchise.
Probably once, I mean, just seeing how active everyone was once I got in the Discord or whatever we used before Discord. I don't Slack, I think. I don't remember, but
Yeah.
just the activity, because the only online franchises I've ever been in, they always die out super quick. So I think I joined not last Madden, but the end of the Madden before that, and then people were still like blowing up the chats and stuff. So I was excited to see that people actually, stuck around that long.
Yeah, and you've also done an incredible job yourself of growing this community. Did you know that you had as many? I know that you have a lot of kids that follow you, but did you realize you had as many adults that followed you that wanted to game with you like they do?
I wouldn't say I know There's more than I thought. I thought my fan base was kind of like teenage age for the most part, but there are more adults than I thought there was, honestly.
One of the things that we've talked with you about in the past is how you can continue to grow your channel. And I know when you hear that word, it's kind of like I don't really want to like grow it. And you're having a lot of fun with what you're doing, is what I'm saying. But as somebody that's a fan of your channel, right, and that wants to see you grow, not from a community aspect, but just from your channel aspect, what areas do you look at in the future and go like, this is where I see the DeQuan Kush YouTube channel growing?
Well, face cam. I know a lot of people want me to do a face cam so they can see my reactions and stuff to certain things. So that's probably gonna come here soon, hopefully. That's actually probably been requested quite a bit. Is they just want to see my reactions when plays happen and stuff. So that's probably the main one.
I'm just going to let you guys know, the listeners out there, Kush and his face have been something that's been a topic now from the day that I think you joined the league, right? Like, it's been like, yo, this dude's got all these followers. What the heck does this dude look like? And we've actually done a really good job of kind of keeping you concealed. So to hear that you're going to open that up and kind of become mainstream, dude, that's a big deal.
I think I've been looking at some stuff, so I think I'm gonna buy a little camera thing here soon.
Now, one of the ideas that we had in the past was to hook up a camera and then to get like a cartoon like image that would go over your face so you can continue to be mysterious. Are there other fun ideas that you've even thought about that you could incorporate into your channel and take it in a more like personal way? Because right now it's a lot of gaming, but I know me as a fan of you, I would like to see you become more involved with your show.
I don't know if there's anything I've thought about just like making it as like a running joke or anything. If I do a face cam, I'll probably it'll be my face. I don't want to like hide it.
Getting into stuff that are outside of there, is there any ideas that you've had merchandise wise? I know that if it were me personally, if I'm getting up to 14,000 subscribers, I might be looking to sell shirts and stuff. Is there a way that people can start supporting you in the work that you do?
Not at the moment. I haven't thought about merchandise or anything. I don't really have the time for that, honestly, to come up with ideas for all that. But maybe that's something we can get into.
Yeah, no, I know that when it comes to like supporting the community, the Madden community, from everybody that I've talked to, they want to help people that are supportive of the community. You know what I mean? They want those people to be shown, because that's the best part of the Madden community, is when we can kind of help each other grow. So when he gets into your kind of stuff, for anybody out there that hasn't checked out Kush's channel, get over there and give him a look. The stuff that he's doing, it's a lot of fun. He's very real with it over there. He's very he's personal with it. If you message him while he's playing, he's going to talk to you back, as long as you're being supportive of the content and stuff he's putting out. Do you ever get like anybody that just throws like some hate your way and they're like, yo man,
definitely
screw you?
It happens, but I mean, that's what's going to happen in any stream or YouTube video. That's what it just happens. You just got to roll with it.
Yeah. Does it bother you at all?
It used to. Like, people would, a long time ago, people would leave comments in the YouTube section. I would be sitting there like messaging back, and the next thing you know, we got like 9 replies back and forth all the way down. But now it doesn't bother me at all.
Like, I mean, at least it's a click, right? At least they're taking the time to even say that they dislike it, which is how I used to always think when people would send me something that was negative. Like, you know what? You can be negative.
There was this guy who this guy was insane. I can't, his name was like something Garland, and he, for 2 years straight, like Madden 15 and 16, he would comment on every YouTube video just saying like, you suck, or something so dumb. And he would comment, he would at me on Twitter like for years, and I blocked him like after a while, and then he'd make a new account, something Garland, and I was like, dude, what is wrong with this guy? He's obsessed with me.
Yo, that is hilarious. Are there other stories like that, or is that
that's the
only
only one? But
like that?
It was literally every video, and he had to have my notifications on, because it was like I post a video, and within like an hour, it's like, you suck, man. I'm like, dude, what is up with this guy? Like, why is he all on me?
Now, as somebody that's played you multiple times, right? And I've seen you play others in the community. One of the fun things that we had when you first joined was when we knew that you had these videos that were going out on YouTube. I think all of us were like, yo, we can't get blown out. Like, do you
Oh
remember
yeah.
the game versus Mayor where you scored, I think it was how many points in the
It
first
was like
quarter?
35 in the first quarter, but I think it was like 49 or 50 or something by halftime.
Yeah, you were. Are there other games like that that stick out to you, and you just know, like, as it's going, like, oh, this is going to be good content? Like, do you know when that
Yeah,
happens?
that game stands out a lot just because Mayor always messages me about it, saying it's never gonna happen again. Or when I play like my two friends that I know in real life that are in the league, when I play them, I always am trying to drop at least 50 on them so they can watch it back and get all mad.
Well, we're going to give them big shout outs. Terps and Raunchy
Yeah.
is my guess is who you're talking about, correct? Great guys, great parts of the community. We love having them there. When you were able to start bringing like your friends into a community, did that kind of change the way that you saw how online franchises worked, or was that just like, oh yeah, now we can just bring
Kind
our
of just
friends
like
in?
now we can bring our friends in. I remember, I don't know if you remember, but I had another friend join, I think last Madden, but he didn't last too long before he quit out. But my other two friends, they've been going strong. They need to be better. They've been playing this game for many years, and these two dudes can't even make the playoffs.
Now, when you talk to those two, the community that listens to you, they like to pretend like you're talking to them, right? What would be your best way? Because you're a good player. Like for anybody that hasn't seen Kush play, Kush can drop some points on people. What would be your best advice to people that are trying to get better at this game?
I know a lot of newer people struggle with pre-snap, which I did for a while. I never would double team people. I never would, slide my line around. I never would ID, someone. That's probably, I mean, that's a simple fix that anyone can do. You just got to remember to do it is the problem.
Yeah, no, it's definitely when they started putting all those different things in there, like conservative tackling. I remember that was something that we talked about a lot last Madden was how these abilities made people OP. Like, do you remember that conversation
Yeah.
that our league continued to have week after week? And it was like, yo, I think it was like Jukebox or one of the other ones. Are like, you should just get rid of that one because it's OP. And people would respond, they're like, well, did you turn on conservative tackling? And they're like, no, that doesn't do anything, but it does. Like that's why they have it in there. Are there features that you kind of look at and say, I mean, we're kind of shooting ourselves in the foot here, but we're the product of our own issue.
Well, what I'm having a struggling with right now is I always forget to put it on conservative on when you're running the ball, and my dudes are fumbling like crazy because I'm always on balance. I think conservative would help that too, but I always forget to do that.
Right. No, that's one of the ones that I do too. And when I watch my videos, like playing them back, then I notice some of the stuff that I'm doing. I'm like, I should have done a better job there. Um, when you do your videos, and how long do you think it takes you to cut down like one of those videos to something that you would put out on
Not
YouTube?
long. I just chop it up and just show like all the big plays that happen throughout the game. Probably like 20-25 minutes.
For those of you that haven't watched it, what Kush does is he gets on Twitch, he records his entire. It's every game, correct? It's
Yeah.
every game that you put on Twitch. Every game goes out on Twitch, and then you have that file that you cut down to a
Yep.
video that you post on YouTube, correct? When you're filming these videos on Twitch, are you specifically looking for times that you can cut? Like, do you make sure like you stop talking for a second? Are there certain tricks to the trade that people can kind of like catch on and get early on rather than have to
I
learn this for
try
themselves?
to leave like a gap of not talking when I'm right when I get to the snap or whatever, or right when I pick my play. That way, it's easier to cut it that way, because if I'm just blabbering on the whole time, then I have to try to find like a pause between words or else it's gonna like words are gonna get cut off when you're chopping it down. So every time I pick my play, I just trying to stop talking for a second. It's a lot easier that way.
Now, guys, if you have, again, I want to get it out there. It's DeQuan Kush over at YouTube /DeQuan Kush. Are there other ways of social media that people can reach out to you and kind of interact back and forth, or is YouTube leaving comments
YouTube's probably the best spot.
The best spot,
or Twitch.
Okay, so YouTube, Twitch, and Twitch is the same thing, right? It's DeQuan Kush
between both of them.
So over at YouTube, it's DeQuan Kush full out. Over at Twitch, it's DeQuan_Kush. Buddy, before we kind of get out of here and get you on, because I know that you got some stuff planned for after this, go ahead and speak out to your listeners out there. What is it that they kind of bring to the table, and what would you kind of like to see from your community as you continue to grow?
There's not much I would like to see more from them. I mean, they're just keep doing what they're doing, showing support, and I mean, I appreciate, even if I got 3 viewers, I would appreciate that too. So whatever, just keep doing what they're doing.
Yo, man, it's been a blast to have you in the league, buddy. It's been a blast to have you on the podcast. I look forward to seeing some of the stuff that you do on YouTube. I look forward to seeing the stuff that you do on Twitch. You're a lot of fun to watch. Guys, get over to his channel. Check him out. Again, if you haven't been to the League Crawler site, I want to reiterate, they have a graphics contest going on. Check that out. That ends on the 10th. So you guys have a couple more days to knock that out. See you in the chat, buddy. Thank you for your time. Guys, see you next week.